So the reason I'm back to my previous slide here is basically I wanted to emphasize on something, which are the labels. Basically, the identifying names for each of the text boxes and the total order of beers or price, stuff like that. So if you, I mean, without labels, nothing would make sense. So you need to have a label for each object so that there is not a case where the user does not know what an object actually is. So labels are important, and here are some guidelines of how to align or design your label. So generally, you either have the label to the left or above the text box, and they should be generally left aligned so that, I mean, they start from the left of the form or your application. You should be uh, you should not have a like long label. Should be 1 to 3 words only if you even need that much. And they should be in one line, and they should be meaningful. So basically you have to convey what the object is within a very few words, and the label should include a colon at the end, and then your object should start. And also the general standard for using labels is that you use sentence capitalization. Is basically only the first word starts with a capital letter in your whole text for your label. Other than that, I mean, only those names or stuff like proper nouns which should be capitalized, only they are capitalized. Everything else has all small letters. And for buttons, um, the standard is using book title capitalization, which basically mean that the first letter in each word should be capitalized except for articles, conjunction, basically buts, and stuff like that, which if, while, which should not be capitalized. Everything else should be capitalized, every other word. And some other guidelines, basically the buttons should be sized in a relative fashion so that they look nice, so that if you go back to the slide here, so that every button has a certain length and a certain width so that everything looks symmetrical. Yeah, if they're stacked horizontally, they should have the same width also. So height and width should be kind of similar, and so they are aligned according to their weight, I guess. So meaning that the buttons which are used, weight or more popularity. So the buttons which are used more often are generally have the first preference in alignment. And as I mentioned before, book title capitalization is the general standard for the naming of the buttons.